Awareness matters because as we grow older, there are four hidden yet powerful forces working quietly against the body. They're rarely discussed until they've already done damage. Many people have no idea how deeply these unseen problems drain energy, memory, and overall well-being, often discovering the truth only after the effects have taken hold. In this video, we'll reveal the four genuine reasons why living past 80 in good health becomes such a challenge. These are not guesses or myths. They are supported by decades of medical studies and real-life experience. Once you understand them, you'll see that the goal isn't about chasing immortality. It's about preserving your physical strength, your independence, and your peace of mind for as long as possible. Stay with us until the end, because the fourth reason might not only surprise you, but could also be the most critical of all. Let's begin with reason 1, silent inflammation that speeds up aging. One of the most dangerous threats after 80 doesn't come from outside. It begins quietly inside the body. Doctors sometimes refer to it as inflammaging, a slow, chronic form of low-grade inflammation that quietly harms cells, organs, and tissues long before any symptoms become obvious. Over the years, it gradually wears the body down from the inside out. This is different from the swelling you might see after an injury. It's invisible and builds up from years of stress, processed foods, poor quality sleep, inactivity, and even toxins in the environment. At first, there's no pain, but it still impacts everything: the heart, the brain, the joints, and the immune system. Take George, 82. He never smoked, avoided alcohol, and took daily walks. Yet he felt constant tiredness, stiffness, and brain fog despite normal blood test results. Only after seeing a specialist did he discover high inflammatory markers in his system. There was no major illness, just long-term hidden inflammation quietly burning in the background. The body's ability to fight inflammation weakens with age. So things you might ignore in your 50s or 60s, such as processed snacks, long periods of sitting, or irregular sleep, start taking a much heavier toll past 80. Left unchecked, it raises the risk of dementia, heart problems, and frailty. But here's the hopeful part. Some of the best tools to fight it are simple and cost nothing. Eating more whole foods, moving daily, and getting better rest. Results aren't instant, but each small step turns down the flame and gives the body a better chance to stay strong beyond 80. Reason 2. Muscle loss that causes weakness and falls. From age 60, muscle naturally begins to shrink a little each year, and after 80, that process speeds up. This gradual loss is called sarcopenia. It doesn't hit suddenly. It begins with small changes. Opening jars feels harder. Standing from a chair takes more effort. Stairs seem just a bit steeper. Muscle isn't only about strength. It also protects balance, supports joints, and helps control blood sugar and metabolism. When it fades, the risk of falls, broken bones, and loss of independence skyrockets. Frank, 84, was cheerful and mentally sharp, still living alone. But one day, he tripped over a rug, broke his hip, and realized how much strength he had unknowingly lost in recent years. Past 80, losing muscle impacts nearly everything. One fall can mean weeks in bed, which leads to more weakness, then the walker, then the shrinking of once active life. But muscle loss is not unavoidable. It can be slowed or even reversed with effort. Regular walking, lightweight training, resistance bands a few times a week, enough protein, and gentle stretching all help. The aim isn't bodybuilding. It's staying mobile and strong enough to keep doing what you love, whether that's gardening, shopping, or simply getting out of bed without help. After 80, muscle is your quiet guardian, and it can make the difference between just living longer and living better. If you're still watching, drop a number 2 in the comments so I know you're here. And if you haven't yet, hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the videos we prepare to inform and inspire. Reason 3. Poor sleep that slowly weakens body and mind. Sleep patterns shift with age, but not always in positive ways. Many older adults find it harder to fall asleep, stay asleep, or reach deep restorative rest. After 80, the toll of poor sleep shows more clearly in your body, in your brain, and in your daily energy. At first, it might just feel like more daytime fatigue, minor forgetfulness, or quicker irritation. But underneath, a bigger issue is brewing. Sleep is when the body repairs itself, the brain clears toxins, and the immune system resets. Without deep, continuous rest, those vital processes are disrupted. Alice, 86, thought waking 3 or 4 times a night was simply part of aging. But over time, she noticed her memory slipping, her energy fading, and catching more colds. Her doctor explained that quality sleep was just as vital as nutrition for brain and immune health. Once she made small improvements, a consistent bedtime, less caffeine and alcohol, morning sunlight, a cool dark bedroom, and light daily exercise, her clarity and stamina began to return. Past 80, good sleep becomes as important as good food or safe movement. It influences how steady you walk, how clearly you think, how strong your immune system remains, and how much energy you have for life. It's not about sleeping longer, but sleeping better. And that shift could be one of the smartest moves for long-term wellness. Reason 4, loneliness and loss of daily purpose. One of the quietest, yet most damaging risks for people over 80 isn't a disease at all. It's isolation. Loneliness doesn't only weigh on the heart emotionally. It physically harms the body. Research shows that lack of social connection and the fading of daily purpose can shorten life as much as certain chronic illnesses. With age, social circles often shrink. Friends pass away, children live far away, and physical challenges make going out harder. Gradually, days become quieter and more solitary. Bill, 88, lost his wife 5 years ago, and his children live in other states. His days revolve around TV, simple meals, and keeping the house tidy. Some days, he doesn't speak to anyone at all. What he misses most isn't noise or activity. It's the feeling of being needed, of having someone who depends on him. Humans are wired for connection, and after 80, when roles like work or caregiving fade, the loss isn't just of conversation, it's of identity. Without a sense of why get up today, health declines, immune strength weakens, brain chemistry shifts, and motivation drops. But purpose doesn't have to be huge. Watering plants, writing letters, making daily calls, feeding birds, helping a neighbor, all can bring rhythm and meaning. Reaching out, even awkwardly, often brings light to both giver and receiver. Solitude is healthy when chosen, but feeling invisible is not. So, if you're over 80 or know someone who is, ask, what brings you purpose now? And protect it as you would a medicine, because it is one. If you're still with us, comment number 4 below, and make sure you subscribe, so we can keep sharing helpful insights. Final thoughts, if you've stayed to the end, pause to reflect, not with fear, but with awareness. Reaching 80 is a gift, but too often, people arrive there in poor shape. Not from lack of care, but from not knowing the quiet forces working against them. Inflammation, muscle loss, poor sleep, and loneliness creep in gradually. By the time they're obvious, harm is already underway. But understanding these risks gives you power. The goal here isn't to alarm you, but to remind you that steady, small changes still matter. The choices you make this week, this month, and this year will shape how you move, think, and feel in the years ahead. So, what struck you most? The hidden creep of inflammation, how fragile strength becomes without movement, the truth that sleep is more than rest, or the reminder that emotional connection is as vital as medicine. Whatever it is, don't just store it as information, let it guide you. Decide to keep showing up for your body, mind, and purpose. Aging doesn't have to mean fading. It can mean focusing on what matters most and letting the rest go. You've earned the right to live this chapter with wisdom and strength. Don't settle for less. Thank you for spending this time with us. Share one insight you gained today and how you'll use it. Your comments inspire us to keep creating content that informs and uplifts. If you found this helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. We'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.